Oh, I thought you were starting.
I've been used to you doing it for the last 2 weeks.
Hello and welcome to Europhoria, the podcast where we look back on the great glam and garish of Eurovision past. My name is Isobel Shulman and I'm joined as ever by the delectable Roland.
Hello. How are you doing, Isobel?
I'm very well, thank you so much.
Good.
How are you?
I am doing well. I had a lovely...
Probably sick of the sight of me by now. We've seen each other incessantly for the last week.
Yeah, no, it was fun though. I mean, in decent circumstances, wasn't it? I mean,
Better than decent.
We went and got pizza.
Yesterday.
And
ice cream.
Saw you today.
We had a port.
We had a
Not
lovely
today,
port in
yesterday.
the sunshine.
Yeah.
And then something happened the day before that.
Our memory's a bit hazy.
Oh, it was,
Can't quite remember what it was. Oh yeah, it was fucking Eurovision.
Oh, it was! Yay! The thing that we've been talking about for
the whole lives.
It actually happened, guys. It's come and
gone. It already feels like a distant dream.
Oh, it was a beautiful dream though.
It was fantastic.
It was quite a bizarre dream, but a wonderful, wonderful dream.
So, as it was Eurovision, as it was the greatest night of the year, just the biggest, best time any of us can ever have. Obviously, we're not going to do normal story format this week. We're going to talk about Saturday night.
Saturday night. It was Eurovision.
Oh God! I give you a few weeks off from making songs, and you've lost it.
I know. I just can't hold them in anymore. So yeah, we're gonna have a little natter about that, aren't we?
We are indeed. Yeah. So let's start off with though. I know we normally have red wine, but I thought because it was actual Eurovision, we need something special.
Yeah.
So we've got a lovely bottle of Prosecco from Italy.
Isobel, that's very exciting. Do you want me to open it, or are you going to do the honours?
You've got to pop off,
yeah, go on. Explain to the dear listeners a little bit about where we spent it.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear us ranting on about this already, myself and Roland co-hosted a night at the Montague Arms in Peckham with the wonderful South London drag queen Portia Fries, in front of a absolutely packed crowd. It was incredible.
It was brilliant.
It was so much fun.
The crowd were fantastic as well.
Oh, they were vocal. They got really involved. There was a good mix of people that loved Eurovision, hated Eurovision, and had no idea what was going on. And all of them had a great time.
Yeah, everyone got really into it. Everyone absolutely loved it. And thanks, guys, for coming down and enjoying yourselves.
Oh, thank you so much to everyone.
Yeah, it was it was the best. It was probably the best Eurovision I've had, you know.
Oh,
it was
mate, I think it was maybe
great.
mine.
Here we go. I can just quickly pop this one off. Ready? I didn't happen.
That was so close to hitting the sprinkler.
Oh no, that would have been the end of the podcast.
That would have been hilarious.
Oh, here you go. Let's have a quick listen to the fizz. Here we go. Ooh, that was lovely. There you go.
Thanks,
Top
love.
You up a little bit more in a mo. Very nice.
Cheers
to
Happy Eurovision
2017. So are we going to... Should we do some... I mean, what's the news?
We're
going to talk about the news.
Eurovision happened. Portugal won. Lucy Jones from the UK did the best since Blue. And I'm very proud of her. I think we should all be very proud of her. She should be very proud of herself. And was hilarious on Twitter afterwards. I mean, we're going to go through the news first. That's the whole podcast is the news. So let's just skip straight on to any other business.
Okay, any other business?
You've got control of this week.
Okay, I have 2 letters. Both came very quickly after the final result of Eurovision happened. We have firstly an email from Daniela Naren, who I don't know if you remember sent us an email about her being tired at work and us helping her get through. She sent us another email with the subject line, "Another tired but happy email."
Okay.
So
always tired, Daniela. Get some sleep, love.
Yeah, maybe you've got a flea. No, not a flea. What's a tick?
No.
Don't some ticks make you tired?
Yeah, I don't think we should be saying our listeners have got ticks.
I'm sure she hasn't, but always get yourself checked out just in case. Anyway, Daniela, she doesn't have a tick.
You don't have a tick, Daniela.
Said, I wanted to write this yesterday, but forgot. Also, Daniela, you couldn't have written this yesterday because you said, I'm literally in bed right now after watching the final, and yes, Portugal won!
Yeah!
Daniela couldn't get drunk because
of the tick.
because she has work tomorrow, sadly.
Oh.
I
didn't get that drunk, though.
No, I didn't either.
We polished off a fair few bottles of Prosecco.
Yeah,
I wasn't that drunk.
We had about a bottle each because we had 3 bottles of Prosecco and then more.
We had 5 bottles of Prosecco between 3 of us.
Wow, that went down really easily. I was just like, oh yeah, just him. Daniela says, I work at an amusement park in Sweden called Leisberg and make sandwiches and tiny pancakes.
Oh!
They're called platar.
Send us a pic.
I know, I'd love to see a pic of your tiny...
No. Roland. He stopped himself.
Usually we aren't allowed to listen to stuff, but we are when we are cleaning the garbage room. Fun times.
So we're garbage podcast. Is that what you're saying, Daniela?
No, we're so good. We're so light and happy that we help her when she's doing the garbage.
We're the garbage podcast. I'll take that. I'm putting that as the slogan.
Yeah. She says, thanks again for a great podcast. And I will keep listening even after Eurovision season. I think
you better do.
Yeah, I know. Otherwise,
Jesus, that's most of our livelihood is not off-season Eurovision.
I know. Yeah, that's most of the year. It's just not. It's not the 3 years. So we hope you all do. We've got plenty more to offer you.
You better do. We've got plenty more to offer you. Are you like?
I don't know what.
Trying to tease them in. Roland's
Marketing.
got plenty to offer you.
We did have another. This was an even quicker turnaround after the final of Eurovision, and for this one I'm going to need a little bit of background music.
Oh, it's the Reverend.
Hi.
My dad doesn't sound like that.
Hi. Just come in from a day out and about to discover that Portugal have won. After all these years of trying, I'm really pleased for them.
Oh, Dad.
And what I love most of all is that Salvador won by simply being himself. No flashy gimmicks and no trying to be like someone else. Just a simple song sung in Portuguese. Take it or leave it, this is who we are. Well done, David.
Well, there you go, Salvador. Yeah. Out of all of the praise from across the world, you'll be happy to hear that my father approves.
Yeah, I think that was a very nice... It summed it up very well, didn't it?
Bless him. I mean, I don't...
What was he doing out and about?
I really love you. Who knows with my father? Probably just following my mother around and having orders barked at him to buy a new shed. Well,
I'm glad that he had time to come back in and discover Portugal had won.
Oh, bless him. Hi, Pops. I've not spoken to him recently, so that's nice to know he's alive.
Well, there you go.
It's good to know there's communication coming over from Canada.
Well, we might be hearing a little more something from someone later on.
I might indeed.
Should we
That's
just...
all the end of the business.
Geez, sorry.
No, I was saying, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we should just crack on and talk about the night.
Oh, blimey.
In fact, though, before we discuss the final, I think it's only right that we pay our respects to some of our fallen brothers and sisters who didn't make it through the semi-finals. So, Roland, can you play some sad music, please?
Okay, let me try and find... Okay. I think
in memoriam
at
the Oscars.
Okay, we go.
I mean, it's more sexy.
Sexy sad.
Sexy sad. Okay.
Some people are
sad.
Some
well, the
people
Eurovision is sexy.
Some people are that sexy they can be sexy even when they're sad.
I can't. I'm a horrible crier. So yeah, we're just gonna take a moment now to remember Tamara from Georgia.
Oh.
Time Bell from Switzerland. Jana from the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia.
I love you, even though you're engaged and having a baby.
Claudia from Malta. And most importantly, dear Slavko from Montenegro. You will forever be in our thoughts and prayers, because even though you were never meant to, I mean, literally you were never going to beat Portugal. None of you were going to win. Let's be honest about this. You deserved your time to shine on the big stage at the final, and it was ripped away from you.
Yeah.
Especially Slavko.
I
mean, genuinely, all I'm really talking about is Slavko right now. I'm really rather angry about Slavko.
Well, I'm sure. I tell you what, we can be Slavko reporters. I'm going to keep an eye on whatever Slavko does in the next year to ever.
Slavko, it's London Pride on
God.
I think it's like July 10th this year. Come over.
Think we can organise that?
I think we can do it.
We can get in touch with him.
Slavko.
He liked one of our tweets, so I'm sure we can get in touch with him. He's not doing anything else now.
That was one of the best bits of the night. So after the final ended, we had a Eurovision dance party. So in the same way that in Kiev, they'll have gone to the Euro Club.
Yeah.
We created our own Euro Club in Peckham and just played Eurovision hits.
Yeah.
And everyone went mental.
It was the first,
it was the sweatiest.
Immediately after Salvador stopped singing the final note, we put Slavko on straight away. And everyone absolutely went nuts. And I feel like Slavko was there in spirit. He's not dead, but like...
No. He's always there in spirit.
He's always there in spirit. Well, he's going to be part of our Eurovision playlists for the rest of the time. Yeah. He's made it in our hearts.
Done it now, mate.
Yeah.
Made it.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more so than a lot of the UK entries have. You're higher on my list than half of them.
Yeah. Who's Arthur? Oh, half of them.
Half of them, did you think? I said, who's Arthur?
He's from the 60s. He's from Arthur them. Where's my hat and coat?
Moving on. The night itself. Yay. Wasn't it exciting? Oh my God. We lost our little minds.
We really
Everything
did.
was incredible. I've actually written down some of my, so what I've done is written down some of my favourite moments of the night.
Okay.
And some of my worst moments of the night.
Brilliant. Okay.
So,
are we going in chronological order or order of hated to most loved?
I'll start with favourites.
Okay,
Because I like to end with scorn.
Everything.
Yeah.
Not just podcasts, but
all
life.
Of life. I love to end with a bit of scorn.
End it with scorn.
So... Number one favourite moment of the night. This isn't in terms of priority.
No,
just
okay.
listing.
Just
list. I've just
off
made
the
lists.
top of your head. Okay.
Yeah. Number one. Spain getting no points from the judges and Nathan Trent from Austria getting no points from the public.
That was a double whammy.
Double whammy. I was laughing a lot at both of those things.
Really killer when Austria got it because they were like, this is in order from lowest score to highest score. And the lowest score was like, with no points. It's like, oh dear. Yeah, no, they were our two ones that we pipped for. I feel like we did really well. We pipped for bottom.
Loserhood.
And they both got 0 points in both in either category.
Yeah,
I feel like we
delicious.
did really well. I was going to save this for a little bit later, but I actually have there's always one. And my favourite, in fact, in the semi-final, it was Australia with the best bum note. And on the stage, we could kind of hear it, but I've gone back and checked, and my favourite bum note from the final was
Spain.
Manel Navarro. Yeah. Have you heard it?
I remember it on the evening, but play it for me now. I want to hear it again.
It's better than you remember. Here we go. Let's have a listen. It is not good.
I remember it really clearly now because everyone in the crowd would go, ooh. Oh no, mate. As we said on the night though, as we pointed out on Saturday night, Australia hit that bum note in the semi-finals.
Oh, yeah.
And he then didn't do that note in the finals.
Lost a lot of respect for. I mean, I didn't have much respect for him.
We had no respect for him anyway. But at least Manel went for it. Although that's horrendous. Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah,
deserved to get really like.
There were a lot of things on Eurovision night that just made me think, yes, Eurovision has got it right, and the people who watch Eurovision are all brilliant and great-minded people. Yeah, jury and public alike. I just think that people know what's good, know what's crap, can see through a lot of the bullshit.
They do, don't they? Like the Eurovision crowd, the Eurovision watching crowd. Yeah. They are a savvy creature.
Yeah, and I always worry, and I think maybe, like with the Norway one, I'm like, maybe people will be, fooled into liking it because they'll think, it's like what the Nope. No, sirree.
No, we're not having that. We're not having that stupid hat-wearing nonsense. None of that.
Go on, what was another favourite bit? Another
favourite bit when Belarus made out with tongues at the end of their performance.
A lot of people thought they were brother and sister.
I know, I thought about that because everyone did think they were siblings until they started making out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been, I mean, that would have been a Europhoria podcast in itself if they had been brother and sister and made out as some sort of political statement against incest.
And it would have been like really misjudged, like maybe like 2 guys or 2 girls, but like everyone goes, no, I think we're okay with the incest rules. Like, I don't think anyone's protesting that. That was amazing.
Just really hot, just like full on made out.
Properly made out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do you think they were? See, the story I want is that they've been secretly dating for ages, and then like couldn't do it, and then that was their moment to like announce their love to the world. A bit like how Yana announced their pregnancy, then didn't make it through, but those guys made it to the final. And then just decided to kiss. What a great experience as well. What better place can you have a kiss than on stage of Eurovision in front of 200 million people?
I'd make out with anyone on Eurovision stage.
Do you think that's broken a world record for making out in front of the most amount of people? 200 million, right?
Must be.
It must be. There's no bigger crowd.
No.
The biggest crowd watching a kiss. Someone go and get in touch with Naviband and
tell them they've won a record.
They've got a Guinness World Record.
It was just really hot, and they were really just wonderful, and I loved singing along to that song. And everyone in the audience really liked that one as well.
That was one of the
crowd pleaser.
Yeah, and it was an early one.
Yeah.
It was an early one, but that was like, oh, this crowd are going to be into like all of these great songs. Like everyone was into it, dancing on the chairs. It was great. Good work, them.
And third favourite moment of the night. Just Moldova as themselves, bringing pure, unadulterated joy to absolutely every person around the world who watched them perform Hey Mama that evening. I have never seen a happier group of people in a pub. Like the entire pub was over the moon with whatever was going on. Half of them didn't have a clue what was happening, but loved it anyway. The dancing, the return of Epic Sax Guy, the outfit change from the dresses into the wedding dresses. Still, I've seen it 3 times now and it makes me scream every single time. Next year, when we do the next Eurovision live show screening, I demand to have a bouquet microphone.
Oh my God.
Demand
Genius,
one, because it's my favourite thing.
I think you should just have one always.
How has that not been thought of before?
It is genius. I'm sure there must have been one before.
I love them.
Do you want me to do it for you here? I'll just give you a bouquet microphone.
Yes,
it might be a bit muffled. It's the only thing.
I'm so happy they did as well as they did.
Yeah, they again totally justified. Like because like a lot of people might look at that and be like, oh, it's another silly Eurovision song. Great song, great dancing. They knew what they were doing, like their silly like cloppy horse leg and their
it was all very tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
but it was a great fun song.
It was a really fun song. They did well and justified their position.
Performed it really well, because this is what it comes down to. As we've said, it's not just down to is the song good, is that you can have personal choices. Bulgaria, for example, I mean, I still can't remember what that song is, and it came second, and apparently most of the world loves it. Yeah, but I can't remember it, and I've heard it half a dozen times now. It's not for me. I don't really get it. No, but I'm sure it's wonderful. Yeah. Like, it's fine. It had something. There was a reason why people liked that. I have nothing inoffensive. He performed it very well, though. He's a very competent performer. Then you look at people like, I mean, we hated Spain. Yeah, Spain was just terrible anyway. Yeah. But that bum note will have actually cost him a lot of it. Oh my God, that'll be why he did as badly as he did. Yeah. He would have potentially come like 4th or 5th from bottom if he hadn't have absolutely screwed the live performance. But how many other people screwed up their live performances? Yeah. Very few. Yeah. Well, he got 0 from the jury, and that is that bum note. He might have got a couple of points from the jury, but he got 0 because of poor singing technique. Get better. I was kind of surprised when re-looking through the order of the positions of where everyone came in the final. There were some of them that was actually quite surprised to look at, like Australia. I mean. I'm going to have to stop giving you so much shit because you should give the UK 12 points.
Oh, yeah, you did. Immediately. Like, Isobel was fuming because she was sure they were going to give Italy. I really thought
they were going to give Italy the full
And
12.
she was like, effing and jeffing, like, Australia, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as it was like, United Kingdom, she was like, oh, they're great, perfect. Yeah.
I am still, though, surprised Australia came as high as they did. They're in the top 10.
Yeah, they came 9th.
And I don't think that was deserved, in all honesty. It was fine. He performed it fine.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything exciting.
Nope.
I think he got higher points from the judges he should have done. I think the public vote was deserved. He got very low public.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because it's not a very interesting song.
I mean,
so that makes sense to me.
You could say, though, that, his technique was good. His, the song might not have been good, but his singing might have been good, and the notes in the song are
But that's
good
what I mean.
notes.
Like, he did well on jury vote.
Exactly.
I don't think it deserves to be as high as it was. I couldn't believe that we were only one behind Azerbaijan.
I know, and I loved Azerbaijan.
Yeah, so I was really fine with that, except
we're one above.
And we were also one above Austria. Which puts us in a weird position.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Austria got 0 from the public. So I'm fine with that too.
2 above Naviband. Good on you, Lisa Jones. Yeah, good on you, Lisa Jones.
I'm really very, very genuinely very proud.
Yeah, we should be. In Brexit year as well. Everyone fucking wrote us off.
We're basically above all of the really shit ones.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing really shit that's higher than us.
And like,
is there?
No.
There's ones I'm not into, but there's nothing
France
really shit that's like France is meh, but it's France. They were never going to do horrendously.
Other than that,
she was very beautiful.
She was very beautiful. I think we're fine with our position.
Yeah, good.
It's always going to be a tough year.
Worst moments of the night.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so this is less a order of 3 worst moments.
Okay.
But this is for me. They all culminated onto one umbrella topic. Okay. One parent topic.
Yeah.
Which is the complete disregard for what I believe is unspoken Eurovision etiquette.
Okay, interesting.
3 things fall under that.
Is this going to be targeted at specific people that we were with on the night? Did I do something wrong? Was it when I burped in your face?
No. Did you do that? You didn't. That's disgusting, mate. No, nothing in the room. Everyone at the gig was very
lovely.
Wonderful.
Very wonderful.
They joined in. They heckled a little bit. We got booed when we said scores they didn't agree with.
One guy tried to kiss me.
Lovely. One girl tried to kiss me. Check us out. No, nothing to do with the people there in the evening. We had an absolutely wonderful time. The crowd were incredible. I loved every single one of them. It was phenomenal. Now, I mean the performers.
Okay. Yeah. Breaking the etiquette rules. Of course.
Right?
Of course. There should be a book.
It shouldn't need to be put in the rules by Jon Ola.
Yeah.
You should just fucking know.
All right. I know where this is going. Okay.
Number 1.
Here we go.
Do not turn up to Eurovision and perform on stage wearing just a coloured jumper. Italy's backing singers, I'm speaking to you, okay?
Oh.
This is not a United Colours of Benetton advert from the early 90s. All right, this is Eurovision 2017. I expect more.
For all you parents out there, parents of young children, they look like the Wiggles.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Well, it just looked like, when like knobhead uni students decide to go on a pub crawl and they all dress, we're going to dress as crayons, so we'll just wear different colours. Yeah. It looks like that.
Knobheads. Yeah, it was really like...
I was so blunt. They just gone and grabbed those jumpers from Primark.
So a lot of people said that Italy... I mean, you know what happened with Italy? They went from being favourites to coming 6th. And a lot of people said that throughout the course of the week... each performance got less and less like shiny and sparkly and exciting.
Because everyone had seen it a million times.
Yeah, their first rehearsal, apparently the backing singers were really off and like timing wise, not key wise. And like it was low energy and people were really worried then. They picked it up again. But then after their semi-final showing that they did, and then the rehearsals following that, they made some changes. They added rainbows to his jacket. They gave the gorilla bow tie, and like everyone was just like, they're adding too much and it's becoming too much of a thing. And like it kind of what we said happened.
It was all a bit of a mess. It was really distracting.
And by that time, everyone's like, "Oh, it's the gorilla song," and they watched it. The reaction from the room was, and maybe we primed them a little bit by saying, "We hate this one." But it was like, what is this?
Interested.
He didn't have a great voice.
No, he hasn't got a good voice.
It was
a gimmick. It was a bad gimmick song, and they made it worse by adding loads of extra crap to it. Yeah. Part of that being really shit jumpers.
Okay, so
Fruit
noted.
of the Loom jumpers.
Yeah, noted. No Fruit of the Loom coloured jumpers.
Bland Fruit of the Loom jumpers. Thank you.
It was shit.
Number 2.
Okay.
Eurovision etiquette.
Noting these down. Jeez.
Why was no one wearing socks?
Oh, this was a thing.
Why was absolutely no one wearing socks? You're on stage at Eurovision. Put some socks on, mate.
That backstage dressing room must have absolutely stank.
So stinky.
Stank high.
And loads of blisters.
Either wear socks or don't wear shoes.
Yeah, oh no. Lucy, absolutely fine. She didn't have socks on because she didn't have shoes on. It would have been weird if she'd come on in just socks.
Yeah, don't come on in just socks.
That would have been weird. Although, future Eurovision performance,
well, maybe
someone doing a bit of a risky business style.
Oh.
That'd be great. Moldova, next year, you can have that idea.
Yeah,
you can have it. I'm giving it to
yours.
you. Israel, no socks. Cyprus, I'm pretty sure no socks.
Yeah.
All of Sweden, no socks.
I bet Norway was wearing no socks as well.
Oh,
he seems like the sort.
Just wait till number 3.
Okay, sorry.
Wait till
I'll
number
hold
3.
off on Norway for the time being.
No socks. Socks? Is this the thing now? Is that what's cool to not wear socks? Are we just not hip enough, Roland?
I don't know. I
think
a no socks thing happened maybe 3-4 years ago.
Not to the extent it is now.
Well, I don't mean Eurovision. Sorry, I mean in places like Shoreditch and places like that.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's not alright to sneak onto Eurovision stage. Again, as we said, you are in front of the biggest live audience in the entire world. Mm-hmm. Put some socks on, mate.
Think about it. You wouldn't wear that.
I don't want to see your bare ankles.
You wouldn't have bare feet and shoes to see the Queen, would you?
You bloody well wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
They wouldn't let you into Buckingham Palace, and I would know because I've been.
Oh, bloody hell. Of course you have.
Dropping that brag. I'm just going to leave that there for y'all.
Okay.
No, I mean, like, you have certain rules that your mum tells you when you're a kid. You know,
get socks on or you
wear clean knickers in case you get hit by a
cold.
bus, and then... Do you ever get told that?
No, because I don't wear knickers.
No, but boy version of knickers. Boy knickers. Got to wear clean pants.
No, I never got told
hit by
that
a bus.
because that's tragic.
But
that's not a priority.
It's a priority because if
don't
you get
mind.
it's in like if you get hit by.
Oh, and you're alive.
Yeah, you go to hospital and they've got like cut you. Well, maybe this isn't what it means, but I always imagine that's what it means.
Cut your clothes off.
Like cut your clothes off. You don't want to have stinky underwear on, like dirty knickers. That's horrible.
Priority. They might have been made dirty after the bus hit. Sometimes that happens.
Oh, true.
I don't.
But still, just wear clean knickers.
Okay, and socks.
I shouldn't have to argue with you about wearing clean knickers. I'm not
arguing about that. I always do, but it didn't take me getting run over by a bus to convince me.
Put your socks on. If I found out any of that, honest to God, if I found out any of those people on stage didn't have clean knickers on.
Maybe that's a thing. Maybe Emily DeForester's also got another thing that she told Lucy to do. Okay.
Yeah, so that's my second
bad
bit of Eurovision etiquette.
Do I need to brace myself now?
Third bit of bad Eurovision etiquette.
Okay.
Norway.
Okay. Just Norway in general.
Just Norway. In general. This year.
Wait, Norway.
There isn't one bit of their performance or their act that I can say wasn't bad Eurovision etiquette.
I think you're right. I think that they just completely flouted Eurovision rules and then went crying to Daddy, Jonola, like a week before, going, "Oh,
I call him Daddy too."
Oh God, bet you do. Went crying.
We need the vocal sample. We can't have anyone doing it else.
Even
sod off,
even Moldova had a bit in their song that went, "You'd be rocking burner time," before it went doo-doo-doo-doo, and they cut it. They just had a bit where it went boo instead because they know the rules are you can't have backing vocals in the song, and they couldn't have someone singing that low. Spain, for all the shit we've given them, cut out a bit that was a pre-recorded vocal because they couldn't do it. So Norway goes and runs and records a song that they know has to fit in with those rules, and yet a week before
goes. It's not a Eurovision song anyway. It's not a
Eurovision song.
He wasn't a Eurovision act.
No.
The song wasn't. And this isn't me being Eurovisionist. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I
don't know what I'm saying.
Revisionist.
I'm not being anti
like
trendy music.
Yeah.
I live in Dalston, for Christ's sake. Like, I live in East London. I'm surrounded by pretentious wankers all the time.
Like literally on the street.
That's him. He's done that. He's bought the no socks to Eurovision. It's people like him that have bought no socks to Eurovision. The song wasn't right. The styling wasn't right. He wasn't right. That bloody joust with the in the background with the mask on wasn't right. None of it was right. Wrong uns, a lot of them. We taught everyone in the room to say "No way, Norway."
That was a big shout of "No way, Norway." I should have filmed it. I didn't quite film it.
When we got through to, we had scoring sheets on Saturday night for everyone in the audience was scoring, and there was different handicap points. You had to score on the look and on the sound and on the styling. We gave judges points as well. Got around to Norway, and we just told everyone to cross the line
off.
through it.
Doesn't count.
Cross it off. They don't deserve to be scored.
Don't
deserve to be judged.
And they didn't come. We
just pretended they didn't exist after that.
10th. Yeah, and they can go crawl back to the cave that they came from, the trendy cave with minimalist furniture and fucking vinyl records. Fuck off, Joust.
Grim. So that was my top. That was my best and worsts.
Oh, mate, I feel that sums up the night pretty well.
Yeah. Do you want to miss anything?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we haven't yet spoken about Salvador winning.
We haven't. It was a beautiful thing.
That was one of my best moments.
Oh,
it was great.
It was really great.
I mean, he led from the beginning, and he
deserved that win.
It wasn't necessarily like as dramatic as last year. Like last year, I don't think you'll be able to replicate for a long time.
Oh God, you mean the points at the end?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
that was heart attack territory.
That was amazing.
This year, not so much. It was a bit tight between Bulgaria and
it could have still happened,
and Portugal, but he was clearly leading from the off.
And I think it was. I mean, we've spoken about it. So well deserved. He's been nothing but an amazing a Eurovision icon from the moment he stepped foot in Ukraine. There's been so many reports. There's been things of him wearing SOS refugee shirts and being, controversial, but in a lovely way, wearing that. And then, I mean, the EBU said he couldn't wear it because it was a political message. And because he's so lovely, he was like, okay, I suppose so. But him and his sister, the story of his sister having to sing in the rehearsals because he was off having surgery because he's unwell. And just
the fact
their
they sang it together, they sang a duet at the
so
end.
Perfect.
Very sweet. And I know that a few people have got a bit sniffy about his comments when he accepted the trophy about disposable music. I think partly it's totally fine for him to say that. I am clearly, come on guys, like I love a bit of disposable music. I'm a big pop fan, trashy pop. So I don't fully agree. I don't think it was meant. I'm going to take it as it wasn't meant in the context of like that music shouldn't exist. Eurovision's got shit and that music shouldn't exist anymore. But I do agree with him in the fact that, him and his sister came armed with a beautiful song, beautiful composition and lyrics, and he is a very beautiful, competent, very relaxed performer. And I think Eurovision does need that right now. It did need that. It was something new for Eurovision.
And this is how I'm going to interpret it as well, is that we, again, the conversation we were having when we were having a lovely walk on an ice cream the other day, was that actually, pop music is an art form in itself. And there are some people whose whole lives are built around writing amazing pop songs. People like Elton John, like amazing artists, and it's amazing pop music. And he's not saying that they're shit or whatever, but I think it's about the approach you take to when you write music and if it's coming from an honest place. So people like Moldova who went, we're going to write an amazing pop song and we're going to do it in a great way and it's going to sound great and make people happy and smile. Perfect. People like Salvador who's like, I'm going to write a beautiful song and it's going to sound amazing and it's going to be about whatever it's about, and that's fine. I think, and this is the point, I think he's talking about people like Norway who do it to be trendy and cool and to get points in Eurovision and be a bit different,
like
and it's
Spain.
not coming from real place.
That song's
Spain.
Like that is a disposable song. You can get in the same way that you can have absolutely phenomenal, mind-blowingly brilliant, opera songs,
freeform
classical
jazz,
music. You can have really shit jazz. You can have really shit classical music.
Of course.
You can have really shit pop music. You can also have phenomenal, mind-blowing, best thing you've ever heard pop music as well.
So if he was...
There's a scale there.
If he was throwing shade at anyone, it's the people on the night who we all didn't like. Like the Australias and the Norways.
I mean, we're just imagining shade at Australia. Austria and Spain.
And Spain.
Crap like that.
But there's a place, and I would say that he... and this is me projecting onto him now, but like he's not out to hurt anyone.
No.
Like he's not trying to be spiteful.
If we find out in the future that he is being spiteful and he does hate all pop music, I will be the first to cull him from every Eurovision list that I have.
I mean, he's sung a perfectly lovely song, but like, you know, if he completely stands in a shit place and is like, pop music, I don't think he would have entered Eurovision. Like, if he entered Eurovision in a malicious way and was like, I'm here to prove everyone that pop music shit,
him. He's got a sense of humour.
Yeah, and
he
would have been saying that from the start. He wasn't saying that. He was there to enjoy the music.
He's a good boy and we love him.
Yeah.
Salvador,
yes.
lovely, lovely Salvador. We're going to Portugal next year.
And we'll try and get him on the podcast, even if it's just him walking down the street and us go, Salvador, and he goes, huh?
That's what we're aiming for.
Huh? But he was great, and he was everything a winner should be. And I think the end when him and his sister sung was quite a beautiful moment and quite a iconic moment in Eurovision history.
Lovely.
Well done. Well done, Portugal.
On that note, since we've been talking about the winner,
I
think we should move on to something specific here, Reverend. Do you know what I'm going to talk about? So, on Friday last week, after Roland and I had both watched all of the entrants in the semi-finals, we'd seen them perform, we'd seen their staging, we had a good idea of how they were going to look on the big night.
Yeah.
Roland and I wrote down what we thought the top 5 would be. We then put them each separately into an envelope, sealed those envelopes, swapped those envelopes in order to keep them safe over the weekend. So I have Roland's envelope here, still sealed. I haven't tampered with it. You have not had access to this, and unless you can do some sort of Darren Brown shit.
No, I can't.
I was like, neither of us can do magic. You've got mine still sealed. I've not had that all weekend. No. So we did this on Friday.
Yeah.
We're now going to hand these back, open up our envelopes, and we're going to see who was closest to the actual results.
And we're doing a scoring system, right?
If we get the correct country in the correct position, it's 3 points. Yeah. Correct country in the wrong position, 1 point.
Yeah, in the top 5.
So
here we go.
Hear this. I'm just going to... Opening envelopes.
We're good at these sound effects, aren't we? Here we go.
It's the only thing we are good at.
Oh, my God, I forgot. Oh God. Bloody hell.
So I've got up the positions, the top 5.
Okay, so we're going to start from the bottom.
Yeah, so just to remind everyone of the top 5 from the evening. I mean, Roland and I have a $5 bet on this.
Oh shit, we do?
We have a $5 on this, yeah. So the actual final rankings on the evening was
in
5th place, Sweden. 4th place, Belgium. 3rd, Moldova.
Yeah.
2nd, Bulgaria.
Yep.
And 1st, Portugal. Okay. So we're going to start with 5th place.
So in 5th place, Isobel, I had the country Norway.
No fucking way! You thought they were going to do that well?
I was just resigned to the fact, and this is what I said. I was resigned to the fact that people would like them, and they'd be fooled by their like trendiness and their coolness. I know,
mug, mate.
Well, I just lost faith.
Bloody
I lost
mug.
faith. I should never have lost faith. I'm sorry. I
never lose faith in the
did.
Eurovision voting public.
I shouldn't have done. Who was in your 5th place?
Drum roll, please.
Sweden. You got okay. You got 3 points already. Okay.
Hell yeah! I knew they'd do well because the song is great and they're Sweden.
Yeah.
But I just knew it wasn't going to be top 3.
Yeah.
I almost put them as 4th, and I was like, no, they're going to be on the cusp.
I think I was in
especially after his nervous semi-final performance.
I think I was in a funny.
He's making excuses
already.
I
was in a quite downbeat place with this one. Should we move on?
Okay. So in 4th place on the night was Belgium. So I'll go first on this one. Okay. I had, again, similar to you, I had too much faith in one that I didn't like.
Yeah.
So for 4th place, I put Italy, who came 6th. So I was close, but no cigar.
Yeah. Wow, 4th place, though. That's even for what was the favourite at the time that we wrote this.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to win.
No, I knew it wasn't going to win either, but what was the favourite? For 4th place, and this was my wild card, I put Azerbaijan.
You thought skeletons?
I really like skeletons. I thought the horse head would like get people's attention. I pulled it out in the sweepstakes. So I think I was backing it too much.
Oh,
I was
Jesus.
really excited.
I pulled Italy in the sweepstakes.
Oh, you
That's
did?
weird, isn't it? We both put them as our 4th.
Yeah. So far, 3 points to Isobel.
Okay.
No points to me.
Okay.
So third place now. And third place was...
It was Moldova.
Moldova, Sunstroke Project, Hey Mama.
So I'm going to be very honest.
You cheated?
Moldova... No, I didn't cheat. You had my thing on week. Wasn't a cheat. No, although Moldova was one of my favourite songs in the competition, I had absolutely no faith in it doing as well as it did.
Oh, no.
I thought it would get judged as... it's just silly. People, they're not taking it seriously, so we don't like it. So I didn't. Moldova are not in my top 5 at all.
Well, if we're going to say that, I was going to save it. Sweden's not in my top 5.
Fucking
I don't know what I was doing.
Well, we've already had Sweden, so that's fine.
No, I know, but I wasn't going to say it to leave a little bit of mystery, but it's not. I think same thing. I was just like, So what's your number 3?
I put Romania, who ended up coming 7th. So again, close.
Yeah.
But not bloody quite.
I mean, you don't get any points, but it was another fun song. It was the two sort of really fun songs.
I suppose. Yeah, I want to toss up between the two. Actually, I'm quite surprised that Moldova did more. I thought Romania, with how ridiculous the Yodel rap was going to score higher than it did, rank higher.
3, I put Italy. So I get no points from that. No. So far, I'm on no points.
Nil
and you're on 3.
Roland, nil point.
So it comes down to this, right? Comes down to this.
Oh my God, it comes down to these two. Yeah.
So in second position was Bulgaria.
Yeah. So as mentioned earlier, I still to this day cannot remember Bulgaria's entry, so that I didn't put them in.
Wow.
I didn't have them in my top 5.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Who did you put a second?
I put Croatia.
Wow. Interesting.
Who ended up coming 13th.
Yeah.
I mean, and as we found out, he's a massive homophobe and we hate him now.
Yeah.
What a bellend.
We got him off the list as well, didn't we?
He got where he deserved. He should have got deserved lower, actually. I really thought... I could very much went with the silly entries. I thought, they're going to do really well. No, they're really weird.
Yeah.
Definitely people are going to vote for the fat guy duetting with himself in a leather jacket / tuxedo.
Yeah.
No, apparently not.
Apparently not. So...
I didn't know about the homophobia when I put all this stuff down.
In number 2 position from me, Isobel.
Did you put Bulgaria?
And this might reveal who the winner is. I put Portugal. I was in a weird place. I was in a very negative place here. I put Portugal as my number 2.
Wow. So you get 1 point for that.
I get 1 point for that. And so let's move on to number 1. I mean, it's kind of all over, but number 1 for you, Isobel.
I mean, I'm fucking smart as shit, aren't I? Number 1 was Portugal.
And I put number 1 was Bulgaria.
Oh, mate.
So for 2017, Isobel...
I'm the winner.
You get 4 points, I get 2. You win.
Yay!
You win a $5.
Well
done.
To me. Cheers.
I was feeling really smug because I thought Isobel's not going to... Like, we were chatting about it and I knew that you hadn't quite put Bulgaria up there. And I was like, when Bulgaria win, I'm going to be so smart because we haven't mentioned it once. And
I even put a little heart next to Portugal.
Oh, you don't get extra points for that, but that's fine.
So I got 1 and 5 correct.
In the right place?
Spot on, right place. Portugal first, Sweden 5th. I came very close with Italy and Romania, as did you with Italy and... What did you have?
No, I didn't. I didn't do very well at all. I got 2 out of 5 that got in the top 5, and they weren't even in the right place.
Oh, you're an idiot.
I know, I did do very well.
I am the best Mystic Meg at Eurovision. I am the best at predicting the future.
Did very well. I mean, I
always have been, always will be. I can't remember the last time I was wrong on a Eurovision winner.
Jeez.
I never bet on it, and I don't know why. And I always know early on who it was. Yeah. Last year, I didn't say Ukraine until the semi-finals until the final. Actually, I don't think it was because at first when we watched them at the semi-finals, we thought it was a bit mental. But
you were sold.
Year before Mons from like pre-semi-final, I knew that was going to win.
Well, this one you bloody brought up months ago.
Oh, because I loved him.
Like before, like
I've loved him for a long time. Salvador.
So we called it a long time ago, and we did. I mean, you did very well.
I did.
I just lost faith at the end. I shouldn't have lost faith. I should trust.
If you'd have put them in the other way around, mate, you'd have won that.
I know, bloody would have done.
And I'd have been gobsmacked because I genuinely cannot remember Bulgaria.
No, and I knew, and literally, so I watched it in the semi-final.
I just know he looks like a lovely little lesbian.
He does look like, although. Rumour has it, well, not even rumour, you fucking said it in an interview, that this is with a Russian TV broadcaster, that I don't know what they were doing there, because they weren't even broadcasting the show, but apparently he said that when I win, or if I win, I'm going to take the Eurovision trophy to Moscow and I'm going to smash it on the floor.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I thought when you said this before, you meant as like a... fuck you to Russia and be like, yeah, this is your trophy. I love Eurovision.
Oh, no,
but
no,
I thought
no,
it was
no.
a bit misguided because you don't smash a Eurovision trophy.
No,
why does the internet love him so much then?
The internet doesn't love him, do they?
They're in love with him.
Well, maybe they didn't hear this. Like, it was, he did a really shit apology as well. He did one of those, I'm sorry if you were offended apologies.
Oh, fuck you, mate.
Yeah,
wow.
I didn't want to ruin your night by hammering it home, but I thought you were a little bit underwhelmed by that.
You got out else?
No, I mean, it was a lovely experience, and
you were such a wet blanket.
A
really lovely night, yes.
Thank you all so much. No, it was good. We'd been building up to it for bloody long enough, so it was quite. I don't know. I woke up that day and I was just like, I'm gonna have like a perfect day. I went to the gym. I had a big lunch. I had 3 showers that day.
It's weird.
I know. I had a morning shower, post gym shower. Then I went to go help set up, and on the walk back, I got a little bit sweaty, so I went and had a 3rd shower.
I don't know if I had 1 shower that day.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, I had a shower for you as well, so
Thanks.
that's fine.
Yeah, it all just went so well. The night went so well. The Euro dance party afterwards was maybe my favourite thing ever. So, I mean, there we go. So to round off the podcast, we have got a bit of a treat at the end for you. We've got a little announcement to make.
Yeah.
So after 6 months, almost 6 months,
It's been good.
Of very passionate podcasting, I'm very sad to say that Europhoria will be coming off the airwaves.
Oh.
Roland and I are...
very tired.
We're very, very tired from all of this. And we need a holiday. Not together.
No.
No.
Sometimes. Next year.
Maybe.
Portugal.
We have done before. Maybe not too often.
But that's I mean, it had to happen at some point.
All good things come to an end.
Yeah,
that's how life works, you know. So
you've been all right.
Unfortunately, we've decided to stop the podcast until June 15th when we start Europhoria Series 2. Yay! Obviously, we're not going off. We can't stop talking about Eurovision. There's too much to talk about still. There's so many good stories we've not covered yet, and I'm so desperate to tell them. We just need a little break.
Yeah.
Post Eurovision, we thought this is the time to do it. Take a few weeks off. We're going to spend these few weeks making Europhoria bigger, better, more amazing for you, the listeners.
Yeah.
We want you to still keep in touch with us. You can email us at europhoriapodcast@gmail.com or tweet us. We'll still be online. We'll still be talking about Eurovision on Twitter forever, for the foreseeable, which is at EurophoriaCast on Twitter. Please keep talking to us. We will keep responding. And we will be back on June 15th with Series 2. We are hoping in this time we can probably rope in some D-list,
C
or D-list Eurovision celebrities. Yeah. So if you do know any C or D-list Eurovision celebrities, or if you are one and you're listening and you've just not spoken to us yet. Oh, Slavko's A-list.
Oh, yeah, okay,
A-list,
yeah.
He's a bit too high for us at the moment. But maybe for Pride, he can come over and do it then. Let us know. Get in touch. Like, ping us a message. We would, anyone, love to have start having some guests on the show.
We'll have
Literally anyone at all who knows about Eurovision. No, we want to make sure this is the best podcast it can be. Yep. So we're going to take a few weeks off, put some extra work into it, maybe change a few bits and pieces around, come back bigger, better than ever.
I got to write some songs.
You've got to write like 100 songs because I ain't writing shit.
But yeah, it'll be back to normal program. I know the last 3 weeks have been specials.
Yeah.
But 3 weeks out of 50, out of 48 in a year, it's Eurovision. That makes sense. But we're going to go back to storytelling, songwriting,
exactly,
letter reading,
more of Roland's nonsense,
news telling. I mean, I don't know what news there'll be.
We want less news.
There might be some. Slavko might be up to something.
Occasionally there's some news.
Slavko report. We'll just do Slavko report.
Lovely. There'll be more from the Reverend.
Yeah.
It's the only way I communicate with my father, so it has to be. There'll be more from Strawberry Parfait, hopefully. We've not heard from them recently. There'll be more from Lynn, popping off in Finland. There'll be more from Daniela. Constantly tired, that poor girl. Chance. She needs a rest. Chance the rapper.
From Brooklyn.
Always in touch.
Who else? The 2 doctors. Oh my God, the doctor from Down Under.
Doctor from Down Under, Reggie. Other doctor who I've forgotten.
PhD from Nebraska.
Yeah, let's say so. There'll be all the big names.
All the big names.
All the big names. We'll get Benji back at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't keep him away.
No.
Loves it.
So just take this 4 weeks for yourself as well. You guys have a little rest from us.
Have a little sleep.
And if you haven't caught up with the show, there's hours and hours and hours hours, almost full days worth non-stop listening to us content that you can listen to.
Hell yeah.
So please do go back and listen.
And if you've run out of our content, if you have been a fan from the start, or you've just binged your way through and have run out of things, let's recommend some podcasts, Roland.
Check out my vlog. No, don't.
It's really shit. Don't do that. I would recommend listening to the podcast, the format of which we sort of replicated with this. One of my favourite podcasts, The Dollop. If you don't listen to The Dollop yet, it's 2 amazing American comedians called Dave Anthony and Gareth Reynolds, who I'm got the biggest crush on.
Yeah, that's the only reason you're doing this podcast, right?
To meet Gareth,
Yeah, of course.
That's it. My love of Eurovision to meet Gareth. To meet Jonola and Gareth. I do this for men. I do this for boys. I just want to meet boys. Specific boys.
You're like the worst guys who learn how to play guitar, except this podcasting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine.
But yeah, that stereotype doesn't exist for women in podcasting yet. So
no, it will soon enough.
Not yet though, so I can get away with this for a while longer.
I would recommend the Adam Buxton podcast.
Oh, Dr. Buckles.
Dr. Buckles. He's a great interviewer, actually.
Really good interviewer.
A very human.
And he's I would say he's one of the forefathers of podcasting.
He is.
Him and Joe Cornish. Decade ago they started.
Yeah, that's a great podcast. Listen to that. Only for the 4 weeks that we're off, and then you can stop listening to all those.
No. Don't listen to any of them whilst we're still podcasting.
Just us.
So for 4 weeks, listen to them. Then back to us, okay?
Yeah.
Don't like cheats. Don't like cheating. I want you to be loyal, fully committed to me. I do have relationship issues.
Or none right now, because... No,
thanks for rubbing that in, Roland.
I'm in the same boat. We can only laugh, otherwise you cry.
I did think maybe I should have mentioned that on the night on Saturday when I was being
single?
Very vocal. No, I think people didn't care because they were trying it on regardless of knowing if I was single or not. Yeah. That's the power of like wearing a cute dress and having a microphone.
It's
Loads
true.
of people flirt with you afterwards. It's great. No, I did think maybe I should mention, because I was being so vocally awful about Australia throughout the evening, that maybe I should have said, I have recently been dumped by an Australian guy. There's a reason behind this.
It does justify it. But,
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think everyone hates Australia anyway, so it's
okay.
Not you, Reggie. Never you.
No, we love you. You're special,
Never
though.
you.
You're different. So we're going to end this in a nice little family way. I feel like we're a little family here, us and our listeners, and we're going to end this in a very family way to sign off for
I forgot,
month. Yeah, you forgot. It's the Reverend and yourself had a little conversation, didn't you?
Yeah, it's my pops and my mama came over a few weeks ago from Canada. Unfortunately, it was while Roland was away with work, so we couldn't get Dad actually on the podcast. So I just sat down with him and had a little, we opened a bottle of white, sat on my sofa, just chatting about Eurovision, guys.
Sounds lovely.
Had a little chit chat. So we're going to play that for you now. So you can listen to the Reverend's actual voice. I almost said the Roland. Roland's actual voice.
The Roland's
the
right
Reverend.
here.
Reverend Roland. You should be Reverend.
It's too much work. I'm not going to do
it. We're going to listen to the Reverend talking Eurovision.
So that's it. We're going to sign off. Thank you all for listening, and please do come back.
So much,
it's been amazing 6 months, and we'll be back in a month.
Keep in touch. We will be back in 4 weeks' time. We love you dearly. Don't forget about us.
And before we sign off, Isobel, before we listen to you and your father, let's do it for one last time before our break. The usual catchphrase that is, Isobel, when will I see you again?
Oh, mate. I mean,
tomorrow.
I mean, literally tomorrow because we work in the same office.
But
I mean, Yeah, no, tomorrow. I mean,
okay.
Like tomorrow. And probably we'll text tonight.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
And then...
I might send you a picture of the cat.
Okay.
And then probably the day after that, I see you.
When will we do a podcast again?
4 weeks' time! Hey! June 15th.
Thank you for listening, and here's a lovely interview with the Reverend.
Bye! So today I am joined, unfortunately not live on the podcast with Roland, but sat on my sofa in my bedroom with a glass of wine by the wonderful The Reverend, who's come over from Canada, not just for this, have you?
Not just for this.
Not just for this, unfortunately. Let's say you did, though. Yeah, it's nice to
Hello.
Nice to have you
Cheers.
here. So because you couldn't be on the podcast live, me and Roland decided that I would record a little mini interview with you.
Okay.
To ask you some questions about Eurovision, because we've got to give the fans what they want. And clearly they want to hear from the Reverend. I mean, even if they don't, I do, and Roland does.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Roland.
I know. I told him.
Deeply disappointed, to the point where actually I'm beginning to question whether or not Roland actually exists. I'm beginning to doubt his existence.
I can tell you, unfortunately, he does. He's definitely very real, very real. Okay, so let's start off with. What is your earliest memory of Eurovision?
Gee, must be. I can vaguely remember Sandy Shore. Sandy Shore?
Puppet on a String.
Yes,
yeah.
I can remember that.
That's the earliest
That's
Eurovision.
the earliest Eurovision I can remember.
And is that when you started to love Eurovision?
No.
No, okay. Understandable. I mean, if I'd have seen that was my first experience. That wouldn't have been mine.
No, Eurovision back then was really crummy at times.
When did you start actually watching it, like, regularly?
I suppose I think we used to watch it at home. I seem to have vague memories of watching it at home when I was a kid. So in the 60s and 70s, into the early 70s, we used to watch. I don't think we took it too seriously, but we. But
Grandma and Granddad would have it on.
I'm not sure they wanted to have it on, but I suspect
there was only like 2 channels to choose from.
Yeah, it was either that or ITV, and really there probably wasn't anything good on ITV.
I'd much rather watch Eurovision than most things, to be honest. If it was on every day, I'd watch it every day. The only thing that I'd miss out on is the excitement of it. Yeah. Maybe twice a year would be best.
Well, you might think that.
Agree. Fair enough. And so some of my earliest Eurovision memories are when we went to Butlins.
Yes.
And the power went out.
Yes, and I was groping around in the dark trying to find a coin to put into the meter. To get the power back on with you going, get it on, it's just about, they're voting now.
How old? I must have been about 8.
Let me think about that. That would be probably that would have been about 1995, 96, maybe about 96, 97.
Yeah. So about 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I was passionate even back then. I'm pretty sure that was maybe Gina G year, which is potentially why I was so excited, because that was a banging track, still one of the greatest.
Yeah.
And
Who are just a little bit?
That is the one, correct.
Oh, wow.
Well done. Yes, of course. Fantastic song. And also, obviously, Eurovision parties. Like,
yes.
People coming over, or us going other places.
Yep. Yes.
And all the grups, all the grown-ups, getting drunk and shouting at the TV a lot.
Yeah, that's why I can't remember much about Eurovision, to be honest. Because once you've had a drink or two, you don't remember much. And, of course, if it's Eurovision, you need to have a drink or two. But, yeah, going up to the Fothergills, going up to their house for a big Eurovision party. And just
Is that where the Eurovision party started? Or did you guys have them before then?
No, I don't think we did any before then. I don't think so. I can't remember that we did. But as I say, alcohol was involved, so...
Love it. And as you've mentioned on one of your previous letters to the podcast, not big in Canada. Canadians not so into Eurovision.
No, I've not found any real reference to it at all. Nobody's really interested.
I wonder why that is. Because there's other countries around the world that don't do it but love it. Like, obviously, the reason Australia have been invited to join in is because they are Eurovision mad. Millions of people every year watch Eurovision over in Australia. So it's very funny that Canada, you'd have thought that they'd been closer to the Eurovision remit.
I don't know. I don't know. I think they used to, or a TV channel used to show it. I mean, part of the problem is, of course, if you're showing it live and you're 8 hours behind, it's not necessarily a good time. Middle of the day, I don't know.
I'd have a middle of the day Eurovision party. Great, I'd take a day off work for that.
Yeah,
not that I need to, but
no. So there's not very much notice taken of it, even amongst expats. Really, I think possibly because most of the expats that I know in Canada have been in Canada so long, they've sort of become very naturalised.
Very Canadian.
Yes.
Are you becoming very Canadian?
Probably, yes, yeah. In the way I drive and all sorts of stuff. I'm saying awesome all the time. That's a real sign of, if someone keeps saying something's awesome, that means they're probably from Canada. You know, you go into a restaurant and your waitress takes your order and she goes, "Oh yeah, that's awesome." Okay, fine.
What is, if any, what is your favourite Eurovision memory? Do you have one, a favourite Eurovision moment?
Two things spring to mind, probably. The two things that are most memorable, let's get the obvious one out of the way to begin with, which is the river dance moment. That was...
yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Did you still, when it was on live, you watched that? I'm
pretty sure, yeah. And just that sense of jaw-dropping, my goodness me, this is far better than anything we've seen tonight. So there was that. And I think the other thing goes back to the early 70s, ABBA. I mean, and that,
of course,
watching ABBA and...
You saw ABBA era Eurovision.
Yeah, and you have to remember that back then, you didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't have anything like sort of, obviously you didn't have the internet. You didn't have any awareness of what any other country was going to do.
No, you couldn't listen to the songs beforehand.
No, all you knew was the UK entry, and that was it. And I can remember you watching, and ABBA came on, and suddenly it was obvious in an instant that they were going to blow everyone away. There was no question. You know, as soon as they finished, it was everyone else might as well just go home now.
Oh God, yeah. I didn't even thought about that we're really spoilt now.
Jaw-dropping moment. And I mean, it's so much so that I had to actually look up and see who the UK entry was that year.
Because you completely forgot it.
Yeah. Do you know who the UK entry was in the year that ABBA won?
I feel like we've definitely discussed it on the podcast, but off the top of my head, no.
Okay. It was Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, no, yes, I did know that, yeah.
Olivia Neutron Bomb. And, a few years later...
This is why, in fact, we've discussed this on one of the episodes of the podcast, because there was something else big that happened that year, and we was talking about how, unfortunately for everyone, like, there were some good songs that year, but they've all... Not only did they obviously not win, but they've all been completely forgotten about, because... How are you going to be remembered when Waterloo is the song you're competing next to? One of the greatest pop songs of all time.
Yes, absolutely. So, of course, she went on a few years later. She stars in Grease. She's a mega star. And she got blown out of the water by ABBA.
I mean, it's fair enough.
To the point where, as I say, I had to look that up. I could not even remember that. Didn't even know anything. So,
I mean, if you're going to lose to the best.
Yeah.
Lose to one of the biggest bands in the world.
Yeah.
So one of the things that me and Roland have talked about, and we have with a couple of other Eurovision fans as well, mates of ours, is the fact that the UK, over recent years, our entries have either been selected by someone, so completely out of the public's hands, or there has been one night of entries. So like this year, Eurovision You Decide, there were 6 acts with different songs. And we had to choose one of those acts on that one night. Whereas you compare that to, say, Sweden. Now, Sweden is obviously they are a whole other kettle of fish. But they have their best pop stars, their best writers, best producers working on the best songs, put them all forward, and there are weeks of voting and choosing who it's going to be. What we've been talking about recently is we need to be taking this more seriously as well. The music industry should take this more seriously in the UK, so that we do get good writers, we do get good music producers getting on board saying, well, actually, let's not write a crummy pop song for Eurovision. I'm going to write a slamming pop song, and I take Eurovision seriously enough that I'm going to give this to a great artist who could sing this at Eurovision. The same way the Swedes do. It's their biggest pop stars that enter.
I tell you one idea I had just recently, and I don't know if it would work or not, but I think maybe as a part...
We'll take it to the BBC, don't worry.
We'll take it up to the... What they should do for the build-up for this is actually they should have 4 separate competitions. One for England, one for Wales, one for Scotland, one for Northern Ireland, so that you have each country that's part of the UK doing its own competition, and maybe putting forward from those four countries 2 entries that reach the top in their countries. And then you have one great competition at the end between eight songs. So it would represent... The winner will then represent UK, but it will have come from within the music. And I would say, let's have different music genres. You know, I think it would be incredible.
Oh yeah, all of the entries this year for You Decide were all exactly the same. Yeah. They were practically the same song.
Let's have a couple of, let's have maybe a song from Scotland that maybe it's a, I don't know, a Scottish Hebrides singer who's writing and singing in her own language, singing in Gaelic.
So obviously nowadays we have the wonderful Graham Norton, who has taken the reins on the UK for the and for the BBC in terms of the commentary. But as we all still miss him dearly, the wonderful Terry Wogan used to do it beforehand.
Yes.
I know that you and Mum, big Terry fans, not just with Eurovision. Pretty much every morning you'd listen to him on the radio. Was that a bit... Actually, who presented before Terry? Was there a life before Terry?
Really?
I presume that before Terry Wogan, seeing as he's the most famous one in terms of making it sassy and funny and understanding what it is, that before then the presenting must have been rather dry.
Probably. I can't remember. Cannot remember what life before Terry. No.
There was no life before Terry.
No. But yeah, dear old Terry. I particularly remember, of course, his wonderful derogatory comments about Dr. Death and the Tooth Fairy. That was the funniest one of all. That really upset people. That he nearly got banned after that. Everyone was very upset with him. But it was just hilariously funny because it was true.
I remember watching the year when he it was his last year, because there was no talk of it beforehand. He hadn't said, this is going to be my last year at Eurovision. Yeah. And then as everyone is watching Eurovision, and suddenly you just had this little snippet of him talking, saying, oh God, it's always just so political, and it's always this, and it's always the same, which is why this is going to be my last year. I remember just the shock on everyone's faces, because it just seemed to be such a throwaway comment. But that was it. He was done that year. He was like, this is me. I'm done with this now. I didn't make a fuss about it beforehand.
I think,
but he clearly had grown tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember probably a year or two maybe before that, there are some of his comments that he was making, and not just on Eurovision night, but on the radio in the time leading up to it, you sense that he was beginning to get tired with the political shenanigans that were going on, and because it was always the same old thing, and you think, yeah, you can laugh at this for a while, but after a while you sort of think, because I mean, I can remember there were plenty of UK entries that were perfectly good, really good, and didn't go anywhere because of all the block voting that going on, and all the Nordic countries would vote for themselves, and and all the Balkan countries would vote for their own entries and so on. And who did the UK have? Well, we didn't really have anyone, partly because we've pissed everybody off over the years.
Fair enough.
Yeah, even our most local neighbours, France, they're never going to vote for us.
No, neither are the Irish.
No, exactly.
We've been really, really, really quite bad to our neighbours
so
for quite a long time.
Who have we got to support us? Malta, perhaps?
Oh, they quite like us, I think.
Malta would.
They do. There was another one that I can't remember who it was now, me and Roland worked out that someone gave us last year, someone gave us 12 points, and I can't remember who that was. It was a really teeny country.
I mean, the other country that's probably going to be quite nice to us because they've always been our allies is Portugal. But of course, Portugal famously have never won Eurovision, so what do they care?
Yeah, the poor Portuguese. Dear.
I'm really astonished at the Portuguese. They've gone on for so long. They've been involved so many times, and I think what's their highest position is. I'm not even sure if they've ever come third. They've certainly never won it. I don't know what their highest position is, and yet every year they still take part. It's a triumph of hope over experience.
Love it. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you so much for joining us today. I will obviously pass on your harsh words to Roland.
Yes.
And at some point, we will get you in the same room together.
Okay, and I wish I could say that I will be listening avidly when Eurovision is happening, but I probably won't be.
Okay, well, I'll give you text updates. I'll let you know what's going on.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.